Hi Aquarians, how are you? So I recorded your reading and then I realized that I wasn't really feeling in my own personal power when I did the reading. And I think that it's important for me to be in that power no matter what reading I'm doing, for any sign, for any individual person. But I think that it's especially important that I show up for Aquarians because I am an Aquarius sun, and that's energy that I can channel really, really well. I have a lot of planets in Aquarius too, not just my sun. So yeah, I felt like I need to redo the reading and I need to just really do justice for y'all. And especially because it's just like this continuation of sort of what's been going on with us, and now we have Saturn coming into our 12th house. So there's a lot being broken down for us psychologically, and I feel that like what's been happening for like the last 2 to 3 years, the difficulties that we've been experiencing, especially in like our romantic relationships, and just also kind of dealing with like, what the fuck is my life purpose? Like, why am I here? What am I doing? It's leading up to Saturn being in our 12th house and is now going to sort of clear out and clean out those aspects of us that have made those things really difficult for us. I've been feeling it. I don't know, like there was just been some major shifts. There have been some major shifts in how I think about the way that I do relationships and the way that I just do how I sort of approach myself. So Saturn, yeah, is getting ready to move into our 12th house collectively. And also, you know, take a look at your, okay, so first card out, Ace of Brooms. Yes. And this is like what I was kind of feeling like, you know, the reading that I did before for y'all just felt kind of timid. And I think because I was feeling kind of timid that day and kind of just energetically like, don't be too much, but fuck it. So first card out, we have Ace of Brooms, we have Justice, and we have the Nine of Wands. So, you know, for me, the Nine of Wands definitely speaks of like, oh, by the way, I'm using a new deck. It's called the Ghetto Tarot, and it's by Alice Smeets. Here is a picture of it, and it's called the Ghetto Tarot. It's that simple. And Alice Smeets is a photographer from Northern Europe, and she went to Haiti and collaborated with this group of Haitian artists, and they made this deck, and it's a photographic interpretation of the Rider-Waite deck, and it's great. Like, it's nice to have a deck where, like, there's, like, brown people in the pictures, and, like, women, and, you know, these really creative ways of, like, remaking, the deck, you know, or of reinterpreting all the different images. So that's really, it's awesome. Like, I like this deck a lot. It's been working for me personally. And I've done a couple of readings for some friends with this deck, and it really spoke to them and it spoke to me. So I'm going to start using it for my video. So let's keep it going. And also this deck, my other deck, the cards like to pop out. This one, it pops, the cards pop, and they also enjoy being pulled out. So let's see what else comes out. The World. Yes. Yes. And as much as I try to kind of, when I do an Aquarius reading, I really try, when I do the Aquarius video, I really try to, this is not my energy, it's their energy, but it's my energy. So, like, that's just what pops up. And that's why I said I have to be really careful about the state that I'm in when I do the Aquarius reading. Because we're all sharing, right, in the same sort of energetic bucket, so to speak. But let's keep it going. You know what, I'm going to stop shuffling for now, because I think these cards really, sorry, I'm trying like a new setup here. I was told that my camera angles suck by another Aquarius, and I appreciated that level of honesty. It was great. So I'm trying to change it. It probably looks the same. Okay, so first card that popped out, Ace of Brooms. And yes, so new inspiration, new things beginning, new projects beginning. I feel that new relationships are sort of bubbling up for you, for some of you. And I feel like this is like justice. This is the universe saying like this Ace of Brooms is something that's kind of been in the works for you here with this Justice card. You could be entering into a new situation with a Libra, right? Because Justice for me is the Libra card, as it is for a lot of readers. So it could be entering into a new sort of exciting, passionate relationship or passionate connection with a Libra. Something, you know, coming up very quickly with a Libra. Or, you know, to me, what this is also really saying is like old connections, maybe this Libra or whoever, you know, we can pull more to see like what this person, there's a person here. And I feel like this is us. I'm gonna, like, I usually am like, I'm not gonna say us, I'm gonna say, and like, it's us. Like, I'm here too, right? Like, I'm in this reading with you guys as well. And for me to think otherwise would be pretty, it's amusing to me to think that I can separate my energy from yours when I'm such an Aquarius in so many ways. So we have the Nine of Wands here. So yeah, I feel like this is a lot of our energy, but the great thing about this Nine of Wands card is that yes, we've been bruised, right? We've been hurt. We've had to sort of take some time from the battlefield, right? Whatever your battle is, right? It could represent relationships and you know, the battle, and I'm going to be very clear, the battle wasn't the relationship itself. The battle was how we step into relationships. That was the battle. The battle was what psychological and psychic baggage do I carry into my relationships with me, right? Because we can't just look at the other person. We can't be like, this person, yes, has been through a lot and might have been victimized, but is not willing to be sort of defined or held back by any kind of status as a victim, right? Like, I do feel that this person is right next to the World card, right? The World card representing cycles, right? Cycles kind of closing out and new beginnings coming forward, right? New opportunities. And this for me is what happens when the world is what happens when we take the lessons of Saturn. This to me is a very Saturnian kind of card, but it's the freedom. It's the freedom and the gifts and the power that we get when we actually take the lessons of Saturn and we learn from them, right? Like this Nine of Wands has learned from, like, you have to understand how did you get this bandage, right? How did you get these different aches and bruises all over your body? How did that happen? And until you understand how that happened, it's really hard to bring about these aces. It's really difficult to bring about new beginnings, because until we can take responsibility for how we got here, right? It takes two to tango, right? So if we're talking in the context of relationships, you know, it takes two to tango. You know, and I don't mean to offend people who are out there that are in extremely abusive situations. You know, I highly suggest that you can do whatever you can in your power to walk away, right? But it's all about owning, right? Like, and taking inventory of all of these different brooms. And taking stock of not only what doesn't work for you in relationships, but like what does work for you, Aquarius? Like how do you show up in relationships that's really positive and really beautiful and really, you know, magnetic and attractive? And then what are the ways in which you show up that hold you back, that keep the universe from being able to give you everything that you deserve, right? Because the universe wants us to be happy. The universe wants us to enjoy love. The universe wants us to experience all kinds of love, right? Love that we get from family, from friends, from, you know, our social circle, and from romance. Like, the universe wants us to experience these things, but it also wants us to show up in those arenas in our highest, most learned self, or like in a state where we're open to learning, in a state where we can understand, you know, how did I get here? How did I kind of also participate to create this situation here? So let's see what else is coming up. But I do see really great new beginnings with this Libra. I see energetic new beginnings. I see passion. And I feel like it's also for some of you a reawakening of this energy. And the last couple of readings that I feel like I did for y'all, it was like something was starting and it was kind of, you had to take it very slow. And things are kind of beginning to speed up. And their speed, we'll see what's going on. We'll see what else is going on through the rest of the reading. So any more messages for Aquarius for December 2017? How are y'all liking Sag season? I love it. I love Sagittarius season. We've got the sun in our 11th house, right? Yeah, so the Page of Cups is here. Look at that awesome interpretation of the Page of Cups. You see that fish, right, in the cup? Like this deck is so bomb. It's so amazing. I will see if I can leave a link below if anybody wants to check out the website. And Alice Smeets, she's just like awesome in general. Great photographer. She also does healing work and she does tarot readings and she's just great. So yeah, the Page of Cups underneath the Ace of Brooms. So some of you are receiving a new offer. Yes, possibly from a water sign, a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. I'm really feeling Pisces. I don't know, I'm really feeling Pisces, and I feel like, I believe Neptune is about to go forward soon, or if it hasn't already, but I know Neptune's been in retrograde for a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't really been so hooked up on the astrology lately for each reading, just because I really want to get to the intuitive. Like, I really want to pick up on what's happening intuitively, because you already know what's happening astrologically. Like, you know, I know, supermoon, what, you know, we all know, like, what, you know, but so I just want to kind of give the intuitive messages. So yeah, this offer, right, which could have come from this Libra or from a water sign, is now beginning to pick up. It's now there, you're beginning to see action. There is sort of a reawakening, and you had, I told you last month, the Temperance card kept coming up. You had to let the angels, you had to let the universe balance and synergize those two cups. It couldn't quite give it to you yet, because you knew you still had some stuff, some baggage that you were working through, and it knew that this person had a great potential. And it knew, like, the universe knew that, like, we still need you to break free from some old habits because we have new opportunities for you. But you can't grab those new opportunities until you do the work to recognize how you're a part of the problem. You're a part of the problem when it comes to, you know, how these relationships have either been working out or not been working out, or just sort of evaporating, right? So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. What else is coming up for Aquarius for December 2017? Way too much. That's like another 3 readings. I'm not doing that. I love this deck. This is an awesome deck. Okay. You have the Hanged Man. We have the Two of Pentacles. This wanted to pop out earlier. And these cards are a little bit bigger than what I'm used to. That's what she said. I had to do it. I can't. It's like I feel like Michael in The Office sometimes. It's like I hear a joke and I'm like, that's a really great, that's what she said. I can't not say it. Sorry if that offends anybody. If you know me in person, I have a really uncouth sense of humor. So on the bottom of the deck, 5 of Cups, and I feel like a lot of us are walking away from this energy. I feel like this is energy that we're actually sort of pushing through, or we recognize that it's there, but we're choosing to not really engage with it. We're choosing to not really be there, right? Like, I feel that there's a lot of like, we have turned around and seen these 2 cups, right? But there's, you know, there's moments where we go back and forth, where we look here one day and then we look here another. So this for me just sort of feels like it's not so much that we're stuck here, but that we're still in this phase of like we're transitioning of looking back and forth between cup half empty, cup half full, cup half empty, cup half full. And it's just a matter of like, you know, we're accumulating more days where we're seeing the cup half full, right? So the Hanged Man, yeah, I definitely feel that, you know, like I was saying before last month, there was a situation where a lot of you had to be really patient. And that was either regarding love or career or work or whatever it was, but there was just this need for patience. And I feel that because we've gone through so much in the last couple of months, right? Or the last couple of years, excuse me, right? Relationships not working out, plans that we had for work or career or success or finance that didn't go through or that changed drastically. Like there was a lot going on. Like our social circles were kind of being torn apart as Saturn was transiting our 11th house. Which is our home. That's our house, right? So Saturn was in our home, kind of just breaking shit down, tearing apart friendships that weren't supposed to be there, forcing you to show up as a better friend, right? Because we can pull these disappearing acts. We sometimes have a lot of tendencies to check out. And, you know, we were challenged in that, right? Like people weren't happy about that anymore and they expressed themselves. Oh. My Leo love is calling me. Of course, as I do the Aquarius reading, my Leo love, Erica, starts calling me. And, you know, Saturn's in our 11th house, just wreaking havoc. You know, we've got Pluto in our 12th house. So it's just, we've had a lot. We were being broken down in a lot of ways, right? And because of that, you know, sometimes as a result of that, you end up beginning to feel like I keep running into these roadblocks. I keep getting hit with blocks. I keep getting told, no, do it again. No, do it again. And I feel like the universe, right, universal justice, universal law, has it the fuck out for me. And I'm tired of it. And so, and that can create a lot of distrust in terms of allowing the universe to actually bring in what it needs to bring in, right? And that it only wiped those things away out of your life because it was necessary. You were holding on to it. We're a fixed sign. We get really complacent. We hold on to things. The universe then has to tear them out of our hands, and then we're left feeling like, what the fuck? That was like my security blanket, or like I was really banking on that working out. Meanwhile, Saturn in the universe is like, oh my God, like we have something better for you. Like, just chill out. So there was a situation where we needed to be really patient, and it really called for us to trust. And it's not easy. I feel like, especially after what we've been through, it's not easy to trust that the universe is going to balance out and sort of give us or return to us, you know, for whatever dysfunction or for whatever hardships you've had to experience recently. The universe does want to balance that out, but it can't balance it out if you don't trust and if you expect the same situation to happen over again, and if you're not willing to actually do the work to look at how you created this sort of pain, or this person is recuperating, this person is resting and is definitely getting ready to go back into battle, but, you know, prior to this, right, like they went through a lot, right? They were hurting a lot. So with this Hanged Man here, I do feel that a lot of you have done, like, this is like, you know, this sort of represents sort of how you've maybe dealt with this Page of Cups, that you're kind of in the state of like, I'm willing to do things differently. Right? This person is hanging upside down. They're completely upside down, right? Versus here. So they were willing. This person is, you know, willing, and in the normal Rider-Waite deck, you can't really see it very well, but there's a yellow halo around this person's head, which you can kind of see is this like visor or this hat. And that sort of represents that when we sort of are standing or approaching things from a different perspective or seeing things differently, right? He's literally seeing things differently, literally seeing things upside down, that we are sort of enlightened. We become enlightened. We become open-minded, right? We become like patience is a virtue. Like, in being patient, computer went to sleep. In our patience, we're actually able to see things not only from the perspective of what we want and how we want it and that we want it right now, but from a perspective of like, well, this is also going on and there's this dynamic and there's that dynamic. So I do feel that we're seeing this offer differently. We're seeing it differently. We're understanding whoever this offer is, whatever this situation is, we're understanding it differently and in a way that really speaks to us being okay with being still. This person isn't doing anything. You know, I had to tell myself the other night, like, in my personal chart, my Venus, which is an Aquarius, is square my Pluto, right? Very strong. Like, I have a very strong Venus square Pluto. Aquarius, Venus square a Scorpio Pluto. And what that means is that in areas of my life regarding relationships and love and things that I want, things that I desire, things that bring me security, my career as an artist, like, there is this tendency for me to really chase after and drive and go for it. And like, I also have Venus square Mars. So it's like, I'm very like driven. When I want something, when I want someone, I'm super driven and I'm just like, go. And in the past, when I was younger and I didn't really know how to do relationships because I witnessed dysfunctional relationships growing up, I would like, you know, resort to very controlling and manipulative methods to get that person or to get that person to stay or do, like, I felt like unless I like exerted my Pluto power over my love interest, my Venus, right? That Venus part, unless I consumed them and owned their soul almost, like I wouldn't be able to, they wouldn't stay, or they'd you know, they'd go away, right? Like, and I think it's actually really cute when like I'm a really intense lover, I'm a really intense person, so I find things like, I don't want to say like stalking, but I think it's cute when like, you know, I love that phase of being obsessed with a lover or being obsessed with a crush and being like, what are they up to? And let me go on their face. But like, I think that that's actually cute. And I think that we get shamed for that. And I think that people do that a lot more than they want to admit. And it's actually like, I think to a certain extent, it's actually, I find it actually kind of adorable. But I would kind of take it to an extreme, right? And, I just sort of had to tell myself the other night, and I've gotten a lot better as I've gotten older, right? Like, I'm a Saturn in the first house kind of girl, so I'm getting better with age. I work very well with Saturn energy. I'm actually looking forward to my Saturn's return, because it's like, well, my whole life has been one giant Saturn's return, so bring it on. Like, what possibly could get more difficult than having Saturn in your first house at birth? But it's like, one thing that I had to tell myself was that, like, I don't have to do anything. Because the flip side, right, of those really difficult aspects, right, is that those Pluto, Venus aspects, those Venus, Mars aspects, is that you actually are a magnet, right? And I'm saying this to let you know that regardless of what your aspects are, you are a magnet. You are a magnet. So, in whatever sense of the word, right, whatever comes to mind when you think of a magnet, it's just like, a magnet literally sits there and things are drawn to it. Like, this hanged man literally is hanging upside down doing nothing, and all of this enlightenment, right, all of this new way of seeing things, like all the knowledge and the perspective and the wisdom that this person was seeking anyway, right, standing right side up, has come to them in a state or in a position of suspension. So it's almost like I'm feeling as though, like, the less you do, the more this fire grows with this person, right? Who I feel like, you know, Libra, water sign, I'm not really getting like a two-person situation here. I'm just seeing this offer being sort of just, you know, represented in two different ways. So I feel like the less you do, the more this fire, this flame grows and has the chance to really, right? And it's like the more that you try, the more that you chase, the more that you know, obsess over and cling and claw, like put your, like literally claw, right? You're actually pushing that very thing that you want away. Like you're kind of putting this flame out. And so I really would challenge a lot of you to just try and just tell yourselves, I don't have to do anything. I am a magnet. Whatever I want comes to me, and I don't have to worry. It's about trust. It's about trusting that you don't have to go out of your way to do X, Y, and Z to get people to stay with you, to be with you, to give you a raise, to see your value, right? Like you don't have to do so much. And that things just sort of come to you the more that you let them go. Like I'm really beginning to understand. And I knew that intellectually. Like I've always understood the power of manifestation, you know, or the law of attraction intellectually, but I always struggled being an Aquarius and intellectualizing everything. Like I always struggled being able to like apply it spiritually and psychically and emotionally. And I feel like that like cog is finally beginning to, like, that's being awakened, right? And this Two of Pentacles, right? It's this understanding that like things go up and down. Like I said before, with this Five of Cups, that one day we're looking here and the next day we're looking here. It's up and down. It's up and down. Go with the flow, right? Like this Two of Pentacles is right by the ocean, right? I'm a Cancer moon. So I'm constantly dealing with the up and down, the moon, Cancer, ocean, like the moon pulls the ocean, right? So it's like this understanding that as the moon pulls in, it pulls the ocean one way. As it pulls back out, it pulls it or pushes it another. And that's the flow of life. Even with this Empress card here. That yes, fertility, growth. Maybe some of you are pregnant, right? Maybe some of you are actually anticipating the arrival of a new child, right? Or a new baby. And that's forcing you to kind of sit. You have to just be. You have to just you have to literally just let it happen. And it's uncomfortable. But it's a flow. It's back and forth. And this Empress card, yes, she brings life, but she also brings death. Nature brings life and nature brings death. Both are indicative of new beginnings. The Empress is always indicative of new beginnings, whether we're talking about a rebirth, a regeneration, or the death, right? Because death occurs in nature. That's how things, it's a constant recycling. And so understanding that there's a push and a pull with the natural flow of things. And that, again, Aquarius, like we talked about this last month. This Two of Pentacles came up in the reading last month. Really understanding that you have to be open to the push and the pull. And the push, like it's not going to be all sad, right? And upsetting. But it's also not going to be all like cupcakes and orgasms and butterflies. Like it's going to suck sometimes, right? And sometimes you find yourself in this kind of happy middle where you're just at peace. Right? You're just at peace. You're just sort of chilling, hanging out, in your zone, meditating, taking a break, right? That you also get to take space from whatever the situation is. That part of your agency is also that, like, I need space as well. Or that the other person needs space as well. That it's an up and down. And I feel like some of you are like so comfortable now in this state of like, I do nothing, that you're almost just kind of like, I do nothing. I am so chill right now, right? Like I am so chill. I want to get more information on this Page of Cups. Can I get clarification on the Page of Cups, please? For Aquarius for December 2017. Clarification on the Page of Cups. Clarification on the Page of Cups. Yeah. 2 of Cups. This is a really awesome offer. Oh, yes. This makes me excited for you guys. Look at that 2 of Cups. This is like not just a relationship, but it's a very healing, beautiful, mutual, balanced relationship. Super balanced. Both of these people understand the need to balance this with this. That there is a time that you come together, and there is a time when you do nothing. I kind of want to get clarification on the 2 of Pentacles. Can I get clarification on the 2 of Pentacles? I want to get a better idea of what this balancing act, this ebb and flow means. Can I get clarification on the 2 of Pentacles for Aquarius? The High Priestess. Subtle knowing. Like, and I feel like this 4 of Swords is also really speaking to the fact that, like, you intuitively know what you do and what you intuitively know what the balance needs to look like. You already know. Let's clarify the 4 of Swords. Clarify the 4 of Swords. Yeah, you intuitively already know where the balance needs to happen when you take action and when you sit still. When you take action and when you sit still. And it's like this Knight of Machetes, this Knight of Swords, they're called machetes in this deck, is very clear-minded, right? And he was only able to get clear-minded by actively clearing his mind, right? So I feel that a lot of you are in the process of sort of decluttering all of those things. Let's get clarification for Justice, and then we're going to pull an outcome card. Well, something popped out. I don't know where it went, so we're just going to see. Maybe it'll pop back out again. I think it was the 5 of Cups, but can I get clarification for the Justice card? Ooh, they really want to... A lot of cards want to come out for that Justice card. Just one. Clarification for the Justice card for Aquarius. Clarification for Justice. Yeah, I feel that the universe is like, okay, if you want the success though, like there's still work, you know, like, okay, you want the success, you want the freedom. Saturn doesn't hand out freebies. Saturn doesn't do that. So this person is successful, yes. And I feel that a lot of you have done the work. For those of you who aren't there yet and who are still kind of knocking your head up against the brick wall of encountering the same shit over and over and over again, especially in the romantic department, it's because there are parts of yourself that you have not released yet. And until you release those parts, you're going to continue to enter into the same bullshit. That's what it is. Like, it's not the situation, it's you that's showing up the same. Right? And I had to get really clear on that recently. Like, it's not the situation that's the same, it's me that's the same. And so until I show up differently, I'm going to get the same results. Right? So, yeah, the universe wants to bring in all your victories, all the things that you want, these fiery new beginnings, right? This love offer, like, that's really beautiful, but it's like it has to be done differently. And there just has to be this and it's an intuitive connection. Like, you and the person are psychically connected. It's very intuitive. You can both read each other. It could potentially be another air sign, right? And it's almost like, again, here, this dynamic of the less I do with this Four of Swords, the less I do, the more the universe, the more what I want is actually brought to me. This Knight of Swords, this Knight of Machetes in the Rider-Waite deck is like gunning for, has a target, right? Like, is running towards something at high speed, right? You can't really get that interpretation through this picture. It's so beautiful nonetheless. But the Knight of Swords is very fast and it's coming for you. Like, it's like the less I do, the more what I want actually not only shows up, but it's like, hey, what's up? What's going on? You know, like, this is beautiful. So let's get an outcome card for Aquarius. Outcome for Aquarius for December 2017. Outcome for Aquarius for December 2017. Outcome for Aquarius for December 2017. Sorry, I shuffle a lot. Okay, Four of Cups. So I feel like some of us are still sort of navigating this energy of, like I said before, right? We have the Five of Cups. Looking at the Three Cup, like seeing the cup half full, the cup half empty. I'm really urging you all to look at this cup that's being offered to you right now. Do not get into this energy of feeling discontent. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Allow it to come and allow it to pass. Be an open vessel for these different energies to come through you and to pass. Don't hold on to it. You know? Don't hold on to it. I feel like some of you are also, being in this energy, might allow fear to kind of get in the way. But you have really beautiful things here other than that. Lovers on the bottom. So it's up to you. Like, I feel like this energy is really a lot of you still being like, well, this is too good to be true, or I'm having to wait, or I'm having to do this, or I'm having to do that, and this is like, I can't. Don't do it. It's your choice. The second that you start to engage in the fear-based talk of it all is the second that it stops happening. Because this hand, this cup, is really beautiful. So don't fuck it up. Don't. I really feel this is you all. Like, you have total control over this energy here. So, and this, yeah, could be the other person turning around and being like, no, but how they're showing up as the page and as justice and is very kind of a mature sort of, especially with the justice card, not so much the page, but the, you know, as being a little bit more mature and like having a genuine offer. I feel like this has a lot to do more so with you and your energy. Right? All right, Aquarius, your reading went a little over, but I wanted to spend some time with you all for this month, especially as Saturn is entering into our 12th house. Things are getting removed. Things are getting pushed out. Don't resist it. It'll get worse if you do. So I love you guys, and if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments below, and I will see you all in January. All right, bye.